Hey guys, in this video I'm going to share 8 practical ways to manifest the life of your dreams. It really is accessible to anyone. Like anyone can manifest like a satisfying life. It just takes a lot of focus and honestly a really lot of work ignoring people's opinions. These are just 8 ways that I have found very practical and I've seen results in my own life, so I wanted to share them with you. So the first way may seem really obvious, but it's actually really important, and that's just like, first of all, getting really clear about what you actually want to manifest in your life. If you haven't already thought extensively about what you actually want to manifest into your life, then I suggest getting a notebook and writing a list. In this list, don't hold back. Literally think of like everything you could possibly want to manifest into your life experience. If you want 3 mansions, write it down. Most of us are trained to not really think much further than what we experience in our day-to-day lives. So that actually makes it nearly impossible to like allow more experiences into our lives. So after you've made this list, look at it often and also add more things, like if you think of more things. So the second method is to imagine yourself living the life that you want to live right now. Ask yourself what a normal day would look like if you were living the life of your dreams. Who would you be surrounded by? What would you be doing? Like where would you be living? Just ask yourself like as many questions as you can and then just put yourself in that scenario. And the third method is to embody the feeling of your dream life right now. My favorite method of doing this is from an Abraham Hicks technique, where you ask yourself like, what would it feel like to have something? For instance, like if you want like, 5 mansions on the beach, you say like, what would it feel like to have like 5 mansions on the beach? And make sure that you are actually like feeling it. If it's not changing your state, then it won't be that effective. Me personally, I have to already be like in a good state for this to work. And I will just put a link to another video I did about a technique called moving up the vibrational scale, which is kind of like to train yourself to gradually feel better. But this exercise I found very, very helpful for like manifesting things. And technique number 4 is guided meditations. I personally love the week 1 Breaking the Habit of Being Yourself meditation by Joe Dispenza, which I have done an entire video on. But there are just so many future self meditations like on YouTube and the internet. So I would recommend like checking them out and really just seeing like which one works for you. The main purpose is just that you kind of get like the essence of like what the future would feel like. And number 5 is making a vision board. And this is really as simple as just finding like images and like text. I know people use magazines, just anything that kind of represents what you want to manifest. And then you just go ahead and like just like put it on like either like a piece of paper, or like if you want to get fancy, you get like a big poster board. And you basically just like make a collage of like everything that you want to experience in your life. So these can be really effective if they help you to like embody like the essence of what you want. After you do a vision board, I suggest looking at it like frequently, like at least like I would say once a day, and then just like try to like just conjure the feeling of having those things already. And number 6 is just like stop listening to people's opinions, because if you are trying to manifest things that haven't shown up and you already don't like really believe them yourself, then the last thing you want to be doing is talking to someone else that believes them even less than you, trying to convince you that they're not possible. People's opinions are based on their own life experience, and most of them are like projection. Like they might, or even like sometimes jealousy, like they might even be jealous of the thought that you might be able to manifest something. So it's important to realize that. My general rule is if I ask advice, it's usually to someone that like has what I want. For instance, like I used to ask my sister for like relationship advice all the time because like she was in a happy relationship, so like I figured like she knew what she was talking about. But that's like my philosophy in life in general. Like if I want to talk to someone about like like, you know, making money or like stuff like that, or business, I'll talk to someone that's like doing it, you know? So I think if you are like going to seek out advice, make sure that it's coming from people that like, you know, kind of have somewhat of an authority. And just be careful. It's not like you just like are rude and ignore people, but like, if someone's like opinion is not like getting you where you want to go, and it's just like kind of throwing more resistance on your path, then I would either not mention like that you're trying to like manifest anything, or just like tell yourself like, okay, like this is this person's opinion and I'm not going to take it personally. And technique number 7 is just letting go of the how. Abraham Hicks talks a lot about this. A lot of times if we haven't like manifested something into our lives, and I know I am like so guilty of this, we'll just spend like hours and hours being like, well, how is this ever going to happen? Like, what do I need to do? Who do I need to talk to? Like, what are the steps? You know, etc., etc. And if you don't know the how, then thinking about it and not knowing it can actually like kind of like stave it off from manifesting, because you're literally thinking about something that you don't know the answer to it. So by just like, you know, hounding like the universe or whatever to be like, well, how is this going to happen, isn't going to be very effectual. I found for me, I had to really get out of that habit of asking the how and just trusting that like there are so many paths to everything we want. So there's absolutely no reason to like pigeonhole it into being like, oh, which path what do I need to do now? Or how is it going to happen? Because we don't know. Like, you know, that's part of this life experience, is like the surprise. So what I found much more effective for manifesting is, instead of thinking about the how, is to just think about like how it would feel. And this is another thing that I learned from Abraham, like asking yourself, like, why? Like, why do I want a great relationship? Like, why do I want like $1 million? Why do I want to travel? Why do I literally want anything? Like, whatever it is that you want, just instead of asking like, how can I get this? Especially if you have no idea, just like ask yourself like, well, what is it that I actually want and why do I want it? And number 8 is act when you feel inspired to act. There's a huge difference between forced action, like trying to make something happen, and inspired action that just feels like it's coming from like this higher place and you just have to do it and it just feels right. Again, Abraham Hicks talks a lot about this, like the difference between like forcing something and like allowing something. But it's really important to sort of like feel out like where an impulse is coming from, like, and it's subtle at first, but when you start to do this work, you'll notice that like when you're in alignment, like you feel like kind of just like a sort of inspiration to take an action, and then it turns out to like turn into like some like nice like surprise or some good manifestation. And the more you do this work, you become aware of like where impulses are coming from. So I think that's just really important, because you know, a lot of people, they want to like create these like extraordinary lives and everything, but then like they just like keep taking action and keep trying, but they're not doing the work of actually like lining up, and then that can just lead to like more frustration and more frustration. So definitely take action. And I personally found like the more I do this work, the more action I actually do take, but it's coming from a place that's just like feels like, I don't know how to describe it, except like it feels like a divine inspiration. It's just like, and it's not like this dire need, like I have to do this or the world will end. It just feels like excitement, like, oh, I really want to do this. And even though I have like tons of projects, like it tends to plow through like any sense of like overwhelmment. But if you're not feeling like a huge urge to act right now, I suggest just like take more time doing like the techniques I mentioned. And they are by no means the only ones out there. Like there's so many ways, but these are just the ones that I personally have like found to be very beneficial in my own life. So I hope you guys find these techniques helpful. And I just want to mention that it's really important to just like take note that manifestations usually don't happen right away, at least like huge ones. You might see little differences, but it takes time. I see so many people, they get really excited about like creating the reality and everything, and they do this stuff, but then like they don't see results and they just go right back to like, they just like give up. They're like, oh, it doesn't work for me. And I just want to tell you that like it doesn't happen overnight. Like usually it can, but usually it's a process. It takes a lot of time to like change like habitual thoughts. So just like be aware of that. Like if you are like, you know, trying to like create your own reality and believe in like the law of attraction, that's something that you're interested in, which it probably is if you if you clicked on this video, then I suggest just like give it a chance, you know, just keep going, because it's not easy. If it was easy, like everyone would be doing it. I know that's a common phrase, but it's so true. So that's my best advice I have for you. Just like keep doing it, and then just like don't listen to me, don't listen to anyone, just do it and see if you see results. All right, that's it. Good luck.